Are you wondering how you're going to go about your fall garden this year? Are you a little bit hamstrung and perplexed about where to start, what to do? Check this out. You're not going to want to miss this video today, because right in here, you can't tell it, but this here is a patch of potatoes right in the middle of this orchard. How about that? Here's the best part about this video today. Not only are we going to extract whatever potatoes are in here, we're almost certainly going to leave a few of them back here, but in addition to that, we're going to show you how we use that instant garden method to put down a new garden, and we're even going to plant some stuff today. But primarily in 2 weeks, that's when we're going to put in the rest of it. So stick around. Before we get hopping and popping, remember, Homesteaders United Jamboree, that's coming up real soon at the end of August. We got a link down below and also at the website. Sign up, y'all, because you are going to learn some cool stuff. But more importantly, we're going to have some really awesome fellowship. So be there, be square. Okay, building on the last video, you can see I got a mound of cardboard that I got out of one of those chicken place dumpsters. Best place to get cardboard, in my opinion. Easiest and best stuff, little tape on it. Right here, we got some straw that hasn't been sprayed. Over here, look at this, y'all. Yeah, this is some of that bomb compost that I just got finished making. There's so many doggone worms and baby worms in there, it'll make your head spin. Those are the 3 components we really need for this. We really don't need anything else. Okay, right over there is a potato patch. Hopefully gonna fill some of them buckets with it. But I want you to consider, in that potato patch, what we showed you before is how we kind of prep the ground ahead of time. Well, we're gonna do something a little bit different today. I wanna make sure I don't step on this basil. Not only are we going to extract the potatoes that are in here, and keep in mind, like I said, y'all, this is a straight up orchard. Right here is a red bud, there's a peach, and then, you know, our nitrogen apple pear all the way down that driveway if you want to come over here and kind of take a look at it. And then here it is, we just basically situated an annual garden, you dig, in the middle of a perennial orchard. So the difference from before is that now we're going to actually show you how we actually go about this and how we set it up for the next thing to go in ground. And we don't have to wait. We don't have to weed. We don't have to do any of those things, y'all. It's all ready to hop and pop. Now, it's really this simple. We're going to basically take away some of this mulch here, which is in the form of this straw that we used last time, okay? We're going to just kind of scratch some of that out of the way. We're going to dig some potatoes, but that's not the most important part. The most important part is what we do after that. Yeah, it's great that we're going to get a harvest out here, but also I want you to think about it in another way entirely. Look at this. Would anybody assume that any potatoes were growing here? Even when the potatoes are green and vegetative, most people will walk right past it. Just like sweet potatoes, they'll think it's some invasive vine or something. So from a preparedness standpoint, from a guerrilla gardening standpoint, do you think this might be something you might want to think about? Especially for those of you that feel like you don't have enough land, or none at all, or maybe you live in an apartment. This might be a really cool technique, and it is, it works. I've done it before, y'all. I mean, I got the videos to prove it. But right now, I'm gonna put all that on the shelf right now. We're gonna avoid this nitrogen fixing red bud right here, but we're gonna go through, snatch up these potatoes, put them in the bucket, and then stick around for what happens after that. Look, y'all, this is a theme. Last 3 videos, all about cardboard, but more importantly, how you can do all of these things with very little cost to yourself. So we basically got that mulch pulled away, and we had a whole lot of straw. And as you can see, it's already up in there. Now, if you get close, you can see I'm practically walking on potatoes. I mean, these are German butterballs. And no, I don't mean Chancellor Angela Merkel either. I'm talking like good night, man. These guys are already, I mean, they're like falling out of the ground. Y'all, I'm telling you what, all I'm seeing is worms and worm castings all over this thing. So that's a good sign. Even if the potato harvest isn't perfect or wonderful, I mean, for crying out loud, this is probably a 10 by 8. Let's see what we get. Not a bad day's harvest in a 10 by 8 in the middle of a doggone orchard. I mean, folks, the sky's the limit. Nobody says that all you have to plant is just a peach tree or an apple tree or a pear tree or plant it in isolation. Look, until these guys grow up and they shade everything out, we are going to use those spots to plant annuals, and in many cases, and we're going to show you that too, we're going to do perennials as well. All right, so these are the German butterballs, and we got, let's see, she put them in on 22nd of March this year, 2024. So here it is. We got a bucket, almost 2 buckets. Okay, not bad. And we still got more to get. We got beds up there. So let's go over here and take a little stock of what we have here, because now I'm in the decision-making phase at this point. Okay, so we sat here, plowed up all this. Not really wonderful for my microbes down there, but don't worry. They're going to be happy. All those worm casings and all the other things I saw, you know what? Those guys are about to be happy too. But now I'm asking myself, okay, so what do we do now? In most cases, in the traditional farming world, I mean, what would you do? Whatever it is, I guarantee it's probably the polar opposite of what we're going to do. So now I got all this bare soil. When you see bare soil, it's a clear, and it stays that way, it's a bad sign. Nothing you want is going to come up out of there. I can pretty much guarantee you that. But look what I got over here. Well, heavens to Murgatroyd, what do we got? An ocean of comfrey. And then around this over here, around my nitrogen fixing tree, which I situated next to my peach over there, we got a bunch of other comfrey over there. Okay, that's the first thing. If I had manure, raw manure, I'd probably put it in right now. But I'm using that in the compost I'm making right now, so I can't use that. But I got that green manure once again. So let me go get my rice knife and I'm gonna show you how we get it done. Okay, we got this red bud here and it's perfectly content, but it's about to be happier. So I'm gonna go through with my handy dandy rice knife. We got them at the website if you need them. And I'm just gonna chop and drop, and then I'm gonna go over here and do the very same thing. Here's the cool thing about doing all this, y'all, is it's simple, it's easy. Look at this, it's indiscriminate. Don't even care. And the cool thing is, this comfrey will almost certainly come back within this very season. If you need it, if you want it, we got a deal going on. For every 10 comfrey you buy from us this season right now, we're gonna throw in a crown. So instead of just doing roots, we're gonna throw you some crowns in there. And you're gonna find out that the crowns, the roots will come up just fine, but the crowns come up even simpler. Yeah, so go check us out at the website if you want some of that. Folks, zoning. We talk about it ad nauseum. Look at the zone here. The zone from my comfrey to where I'm using it is no more than 3 steps away, or an arm's throw away. So I'm just gonna go over here. This is why you wanna have your stuff as close proximity as you possibly can to where you need it. So here we go, we got that, and we're gonna keep on driving on. Comfrey's down. Now the simple part. If you live in a very dry area, you're probably gonna wanna wet this down ahead of time. But I live in a temperate rainforest and we're in our rainy season. It's raining practically every single day. So I'm just gonna put this down and I'm gonna cover the very same area that I just harvested from. So simple. Make sure you get all that tape off of there, all that plastic. Worms won't eat that, I promise you. So we'll get this covered with cardboard and then we'll come back to it. Simple, easy peasy. Got our nitrogen fixer growing up out of the middle of it. Let me get that little piece of tape out of there. Now, we got a bale of straw up there, but we're not gonna use that right off. I'm gonna use the stuff that's partially decomposed, which is this right here. This is what's gonna go down first. We got the old stuff down, now it's time to get the new stuff on top, and we're just gonna do like we did down in the food forest, make it nice and thick. But stick around because we got a different ending to this one, and it's basically showing you what we do when it's all said and done. Just like before, we're gonna soak it down, but this time I'm going to let it sit because we're going to be planting immediately. And I will also admit, look, it's not uncommon for you to have to go back and add more mulch. And it looks thicker than it is in some of these places, but honestly, this is probably gonna require another bale. We can do that later, but right now, what I like to do is go ahead and let this soak in. I'm gonna spray this down. Instead of just spraying the cardboard right off, it's probably gonna run right off the cardboard, but with this mulch on top of it, it's gonna help it soak in. So I'm gonna, since I'm planting immediately right now, I'm going to soak this down really good, and then I'm going to wait about 15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe, and then come back, hit it again, and then we're going to plant. All right, now we get down to brass tacks. This is the part that many people want to see. Now, we've already done some so far. This is basil that Michelle started a while back. We can't grow too much of it, and I'm talking not only that, but every other herb around here. And plus, she makes some bomb pesto that will obviously, I mean, it'll blow your mind. Here's how simple it is, y'all. So all you do, go out here, find your way to the bottom, make something of a cylinder. You see that? All I'm going to do is take my handy dandy knife, cut a hole in it. I'm going to cut an X in it, actually. And all I'm going to do is just expose it just a little bit till I get a little bit of the soil down beneath. You can see that. Okay. Now, this balling compost we got over here, I'm just going to grab a handful of it, stick it right there in that cylinder I created, grab myself some basil. I'm going to stick it down in the middle of it, get it up around there, and then check this out. Just like that, mulched. So we've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them in here right now. Now, this is just basil that we're doing right now, but here in a couple of weeks, we're going to have all the stuff that's going to go in for fall that she's got started right now. How cool is that? Folks, this method is the cat's meow. No weeding, no dumb stuff. Every single season, all I do is just come back, cover up what was there, and drive on. I mean, if it weren't potatoes, honestly, I wouldn't have moved anything out of the way. It just made it easier to pull the potatoes out of the ground, having already moved some of that mulch out of the way and be able to find our lines. So it was easier to do. Outside of that, you just pick everything you need, chop and drop it, put it on the ground, put down your green manure in the form of that compost, cover it up with cardboard, water it down, you know, the whole 9 yards. It's really that simple. And the best part about it is, I mean, it's not even the harvest, which is fantastic. It's knowing that not only are we feeding ourselves, look, you hear this word sustainable thrown around? No. Is it a good measure of health to be well adjusted to a sick society? Yeah, me neither. So sustainable is not what I'm looking for. Regenerative. That's what we're looking for. And this is a system that not only feeds you, but also puts back into the soil simultaneously. So it's a win-win-win. I mean, everybody wins in this thing. How do you lose? Plus, it's less work at a time where most of us have to have more than one job, sometimes more than two, just to put the bread on the table right now. But if you're one of those people that's in that position, consider this. I mean, Michelle started all these. I mean, if you were to buy this in the store, I don't even know what it would cost. It would cost you a pretty penny. But really, we are into this for almost nothing. Just the gas that it took to go there and get this stuff. The compost that we have here, we made it all right here. These seeds we started all right here. I mean, and the straw was $8. So I guess I'm $8 into this. How cool is that? And we're not even done. That is a cool thing to have at this time when things are really, really weird. All right, y'all, if you need any of the comfrey that we put down as our green manure, it's the one thing on this farm that we use the most of. I don't even know that there's a close second, but go to the website right now. For every 10 you buy, we're going to throw in a crown. And we throw in a little extra anyway, but we're also going to throw in a crown so you can see the distinction. So when your comfrey grows up and you want to make it propagate even faster, you can make your own crown cuttings. Bone sauce, all the stuff you see on the trees behind me, all that stuff. World's best deer repellent. I make it right here. And if there's something else out there that's better, well, there ain't nothing better that I know of. That's why we make it right here. And don't forget, look what I got on here, y'all. Homesteaders United Jamboree. Coming up August 29th through the 31st. 30th is my birthday, and I can't think of a single thing I would rather do on my birthday than being out there with all of you, sharing some meals together and evangelizing this magnificent design science we call permaculture. All right, y'all, hopefully that was a blessing to you. Until next time, this is Billy from Perma Pastures Farm, where permaculture is my passion. We'll see y'all later.